Kal, imperfect, third masculine plural of shama'a, they will hear. So you will translate actually the imperfect form as opposed to the original lexical form. Okay, another example. Yimloch. So Kal imperfect, third masculine singular from malach, he will reign. You see, not he will be a king, but he will reign. You see the difference in meaning now? Melech is a king, right? Malach to rule, and he will reign is slightly different meaning than just the king. So if you look at this word, automatically your subconscious would say, oh, it's probably a king, but it's actually a verbal form. So it's a verb.
To
And then I
translate
would-
Imalok.
Hmm?
Imalok.
Yimloch,
Right. Translate.
he will reign.
That is the same. Okay.
What do you mean it's the same? No,
Yeah.
that's the translation of the
Malak.
malach means to reign.
Right.
He reigned, or he
He
reigned.
reigned.
That's perfect.
I got you.
And they do have bikini here.
Yeah. He will reign, or he will be king.
Bikini king, they have that in here.
Yeah, well,
Still a king.
or he may become a king. You can use that too. Negation. Of course, in every language there is a negative part of it. So negation. Like the perfect, the imperfect is also negated with law. In the Ten Commandments, if you read the Decalogue, you will see that all of the commandments, not all, I think most of them, begin with law. Do not. They're negative commandments. Do not kill. Do not do this. Do not wish this, and so on and so forth. So the law usually appears before the verb. And what it does, it is used for an absolute or permanent prohibition. So it's imperative, negative imperative. But this is not the only negative particle that will be used with the imperfect. Let's look at the examples for law. Law tirtzach, you shall not kill. Exodus 20. That's where you'll find most of the commandments in Exodus chapter 20. Lo tin'af, you shall not commit adultery. So remember that word, tin'af. Sounds like a dog barking. Up, up. Meaning don't do it.
Okay.
Okay. Negation of the imperfect. The imperfect can also be negated with al, and this is not God. So it does have the same pattern, aleph lamed, but pay attention to the vowel points. It has the little horizontal stick underneath. So, and usually it is joined to a verb with makef. Here makef is not really clearly written because it's supposed to be on the same line with lamed's base. And it's usually going to appear in that way with verbs, connected with makef. This negative particle is used with the imperfect to express an immediate, specific, and non-durative prohibition. So do not do something right now. It's supposed to don't do it ever, like in Ten Commandments. Don't do it now. Don't look, because you'll become a
Pillar of salt.
pillar of salt or whatever. With a certain sense of urgency and immediacy. Examples. Again, here it's a little bit deviated from the normal way it will look. Al tir'ah. Do not fear. It's actually al tir'ah. There's no. Do Do not fear. It's a command.
Yeah.
Al tishme'u al dibrei nevi'im. Do not listen to the words of your prophets. Jeremiah 27:14.
It's a good thing that has the all instead of the low. I mean, that would make a huge difference. It's kind of interesting to see how just that one thing changes. Because if it was
Don't
low,
listen right now.
yeah, if it was low, it'd be
Not
never
ever.
listen to the words of your prophets, but that's not what he's saying.
Well, if it's said in the Pentecostal church, you might want to have a law. Sometimes those prophets make me feel uneasy about.
Good pickup there.
Hmm?
No, that was good.
I'm not picking on anybody.
No,
Make sure that-
I'm like saying that was a good like pickup, like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
one
that's
is
good.
don't ever
Yeah.
listen to them, one is just don't listen to them.
So, we can skip this slide, right?
Sure, no
homework,
great.
Sure. Whoa, we were killed.
All right, we can cut the tape. Foundational Hebrew. We are at lecture 16, the column perfect weak verbs. Last time we studied strong verbs in the imperfect. This week we'll cover majority, if not all, of the weak verbs. We'll run really quickly through these because there's a lot of them, a lot of types, and most of this you'll have to cover on your own. There's a lot of reading material for you. As far as it is compared to perfect, the imperfect conjugation of weak verbs exhibits significantly more variation. Why is that? We have now both preformatives and subformatives added to the verb type, so we have to deal with recognizing what is the root of the verb, what is the prefix, what is the suffix, how are they changing the meaning of this verb, and therefore it creates some difficulties. And there's a lot of likelihoods of variations between spellings, so we have to keep that in mind. Regardless, however, of the verb's weakness, the preformatives and subformatives of the imperfect conjugations do not change. So that's a good news, because out of 16 paradigms, you only have to memorize 4, and 4 of those will differ between each other. That's why you have to memorize them separately. There's not just one paradigm that you can memorize and carry it on. You will be required to memorize only 4 weak paradigms, one for second guttural, third het or ein, third aleph, and third he. These are the 4. They're listed in your textbooks in the beginning pages, and then in the summary, they're listed all together, so you can memorize them in one little table. If you want to go back, I can go back. Second guttural and third het, or ein. Both of these types of verbs differ from the strong verb primarily in the stem vowel. How does that go? Strong verbs have a whole stem vowel, like yik, tol, but these 2 classes have pathak, like yiv, char. See the difference, right? If we look at the conjugation, there's not too much of a difference per se. Same subformatives. Let's see. It shifted a little bit. But basically, if you memorize subformatives and prefixes for all of them, they're not that much different. Nach, comets, hey endings, and and nu, very similar to what we have studied before. Although you have to pay attention now to prefix t and ye and a. Go down further. Most of the changes that take place in this week class result from the fact that the aleph in the third group position is quiescent. That's the third aleph. We are moving already to a third class. This quiescent aleph changes the stem vowel in most forms of the paradigm when compared to the strong verb. I think we do have a paradigm for it. Didn't fit all for some reason on this one. My other computer fit all in. In this paradigm, yimtsa, right? We only pronounce the comments under tzadeh, but the aleph is quiescent, which means silent. If we compare it to yiktol, we pronounce all the letters there. That's the only difference. If it's let's say second feminine singular, tim, si, say e, we are still pronouncing shiva under tzadeh, and then we pronounce the hirik yod under aleph. So in this case, aleph becomes mater lecciones as a helpful tool to carry a vowel points around. But in other instances, it's actually quiet or quiescent, as we say. Third hay verbs. The most significant change is the loss of the final hay, which is a final root consonant in every form. So that's the most significant change. For this reason, memorization of the following paradigm is required. So since hay drops out, see yuvneh, actually there's something missing here. Tiv, neh,
It only drops when you're adding negative syllables.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
supposed to be the segol should be under noon, not under hay. My program is just messing it up. It's hard to use it, huh?
That's just what happened on my homework, I couldn't.
Yeah, excuses. If we get to the next type of verbs, first guttural verbs, there are two types of first guttural weak verbs. Each type is classified by the stem vowel. There is a type 1 which has a pathak stem vowel, like in yech, zak. It's actually yeh zak, but it's a hatef segol, so it's a half of s. And then type 2 has a holem stem vowel, like in ya'amod, actually. So these are two types of the guttural type. So it's already a subtype. Something more for you to learn. And then please look at the paradigms on page 178. That will clarify some things.
So the vowel changes under the first syllable as well. Just to mess with it.
Yes, it does. So, but then it basically follows the rules for the first guttural, because first gutturals do not tolerate certain vowel points under. So they will change the first vowel, and then they will reduce the following one as well. These are the rules that you have to learn for first gutturals while we're still imperfect. For first aleph verbs, while most first aleph verbs inflect just like the imperfect of hazak in paragraph 16.8, there are still some changes. There are 5 first aleph verb types that follow a different pattern. And these are the following verbs: amar, akal, avad, apach, and avach. And they're all listed here in the footnote on page 178 in your textbooks. These 5 verbs that follow different patterns.